I'm going to review a little bit this week, some of the concepts from last week, because I feel like a little review and maybe going into a little bit more in depth of um, what I'm talking about, or what I was talking about with the space between and the being in a place of observation, and just give it a little bit more meat. So I'm going to start with why um, are we doing these lessons, right? So my my goal with teaching was that each one of us would discover our high self, right? Our divine self. And each one of us would begin to see ourselves as divine beings cut from divine cloth, and that would empower us to let go of the limiting concepts that we have attached to identities and feelings and perceptions about ourselves that we've acquired through our lifetime. So when we get that stuff out of the way and we begin to experience the beautiful love that is welling up within uh, from within ourselves, then we have tapped into the power within. And and it comes down from the mothership, right? Comes through us from our heritage. It is our inheritance. It is part of our divine self. So when we start to realize that we are not who we are, we're not who we think we are, that we are actually higher and better than we think we are, then that was then we are able to begin to allow that love to rise up and dwell within us, and dwell within us all the time, and then begin to guide us into a higher awareness and revelation of our abilities and potentials here on earth. So, and we shift away from living through our senses entirely and defining our divine abilities and divine attributes and personality. We move away from defining them through our experiential life, through our what we see in front of us, um, what we you know are experiencing, where we're living. All of that contributes to um, our life experience, but it doesn't define our and magnify the power that we carry inside us. That is something we're doing, someplace we're living, people that we are with, jobs that we're doing, experiences that we're having, um, good or bad, right? So that's life in this experiential realm. But we've been given the vision and ability to see beyond our existence here, beyond the experience of our existence here. And we've been given and were created with the power to create a different experience. So, moving the gaining an awareness of our divine self and allowing the love to begin to flow through us, spending time in that love moves us away from a reactionary lifestyle, right? We were not just reacting to the things that are happening in our life, we're responding with thought and wisdom and clarity and direction. So, we've all moved in that direction since we've gained the knowledge, right? So that's the foundation. Who are we, and what does that mean to us? So all of the attributes of abundance, joy for life, love for life, well-being, wholeness, wellness, all of the love, um, these attributes are wired into us and passed down to us from our divine source, the source of our life, the source of us as creations, right? And so we allow those attributes to come to life within us, and divine life begins to live through us through those attributes, and those attributes are now alive in us and getting more and more space in our awareness and existence. So there is no absolute, I do not believe, and I have not, uh, I've done a lot of research and studying, and there is not one absolute for each person. Like, here you are, I cut you out with this cookie cutter, and now this is you. And you have to go find it and figure it out. And you might miss it. And what if you make the wrong choice? And blah, blah, all of that stuff. So that's part of what we're leaving behind, is teaching that is limiting. So we are unlimited beings. There's passions and desires that we discover that are built into our heart and built into the fiber of our being. What gets me all excited about life is not what's going to get you all excited about life. Most, right? Each one of us is different. So we discover those things within ourselves, and we move in that direction, and there is a gazillion ways to express that. Not one, many ways to express that passion and desire from within our soul, from within our life, our eternal being. And even if it's not a vocation, it who and what we are, and the life that is flowing through us is going to come out and touch the lives of people all around us. So we're moving ourselves more into our high self, our authentic being, and we're opening up to the communication so that we are listening and hearing from our intuition, which is our high self, which is tuned in to our source, to the universe, to divine love, God, whatever you want to call it. So it is within us, not outside. We don't have to go chasing it. We have to go in to get it and to draw near and to get close. So um, when I'm talking about rising above, or viewing life from the space between our daily experiential sensory life of traffic jams and, corona, and being all the errands and the jobs that we do and the responsibilities that we have are consume our attention and our time and our emotions. And when we can uh, elevate above that experiential, a day to day, moment to moment life experience, we can view it from an objective place. And we can see opportunities, and we can create opportunities, and we can see what is really happening. We can hear from a place that is not dependent on or moved by the experiential world, right? If if we're driving along and we come against a wall, we're like, okay, I guess I'm stopping. Here's a wall. If we're up here, we can see beyond the wall, right? We can see beyond the wall, and we can see how to get around it, right? So that's what I'm talking about, is allowing ourselves to um, come into a place of not being bogged down by what is happening and where we are in life, but more getting into the creative power that resides within us to begin to generate energy and generate momentum to creating um, opportunities, experiences, next steps, things in our life. So, and to talk about that for like a minute. So, energy, energy, we've talked about, we radiate energy, we are energy, we're light, we're vibration, we're looking at the solid form, but really we're ethereal. Our aura expands out around us and connects with everybody, the entire field of humanity, right? And living life, nature, everything. So energy changes matter. So if energy changes matter, and energy is emotions, because you emotions are feelings that vibrate out of us. Thoughts are feeling, thoughts create feelings that vibrate out of us. We don't have thoughts that are dead, right? So we think and we feel. What we're thinking determines how we feel about ourselves, about our life, about what is happening, what we believe is happening, what we think it means. We have thoughts and we have feelings, and those feelings vibrate out into the field of space, time and space around us, right? And so we pull back to us uh, through the signal we're sending out. So what we're sending out is what's going to find us. Um, that's why they always say, you know, don't think about what you don't want, because that's what you're going to get. It's true. We want to be generating emotions and energy for what we do want, but it's more than sitting down and being like, okay, this is a list of what I want, and I'm going to have some feelings about it, and then Santa Claus is going to come and bring it all. I'm not talking about that either, but becoming aware that um, how we are experiencing the world is how we've been taught to experience it, and how we change our lives and aspects of our lives is learning to perceive and see the world, um, our world, our life, how we desire it to be, instead of seeing it how it is. Because when we're looking at how it is all the time, it stays the same. But looking at it in the framework of this is how it is, but this is my desire, and then beginning to live from the end place of that desire. So I'm not talking about detailing out every aspect of it, because again, remember, we only know what we know. We only know what we've experienced, and we will build something that is far less than is there for us. So, for example, are wanting, if you're wanting to change something in your life, uh, thinking of an example. Okay, say you wanted a relationship, right? You want a new relationship, or you want a great relationship, or a friendship too, even not always just romance, but people are keyed into the romance. Then what is it about that you want, right? What is it about that experience that you want? What is that experience going to do for you, right? And it's understanding uh, what you're looking for, and then how will you feel when you have that friend. So say you're like, I want to have somebody that I trust and depend on and is like family, and I can call and it doesn't matter how much time goes by, and we can talk about everything and there's no judgment and it's unconditional love, like all of that, right? You want to have that. So what would it feel like to have that in your life? What would it feel? It would feel really good, right? It would feel, you might have joy, right? You might have joy. You might have love for life. Maybe it gives you confidence, whatever it is. So those emotions that will rise up in you with the end game is is where we live when we're meditating about that. So going into your quiet moment and imagining yourself that there is a friend in your life, however you want to do that. And then imagine those, you have that friend and you have those emotions. So now you've created that reality outside of your current reality of not having a friend, right? Being lonely, whatever it is. So that's getting into the creative space and beginning to use the creative power within us to move us in a direction of understanding what it is that we desire and generating the magnet to bring that to us. It's not up to us to go hunt the people down, to go determine who's going to be our friend, because the universe has a sense of humor. You might have somebody come into your life that's totally different than you think it should be, and we've almost all experienced that. So it's our um, job, so to speak, is to define the concept for ourselves, and then define know what that's going to do for us emotionally, and live there already. Live there already. And then how it happens, when it happens, is not our job. Not our job at all. And that's where we're like, okay, I got a concept, I got some emotions, now I'm going to go out there and make it happen for myself. And you could totally do that. You could totally do that. And if it doesn't work out, you're going to blame God. And if it does work out, you're going to be like, this is great, right? So, but we're missing it. Like, we're going in with the blank canvas, the empty field, and we're saying, what is it that I desire in my life right now? So, say a job. I want to have a job where I'm using these of my skills, or I want a job where I can, it needs to provide satisfaction in this area of my life, because like if you know what it is that you love to do, and then it needs to be within these many hours in the day, and I need to make this much money. Okay, so what's it going to feel like when you're doing that job? Love for life, joy for life, satisfaction. So when you have, you'll be like, yeah, this is so cool. I have this job and I'm loving it and it's fitting into my life. Not I'm fitting my life all around the edges of jobs how we've been taught to think they should be. So we're not running around trying to, um, create it, where we're fully knowing what it is we're looking for. And then we can look for a job and stuff like that, but then if it doesn't fit, don't take it, right? And if it fits and you feel inside this is it, and there it is. So um, it's learning to create first, not take action first. Like we must define, because this is how we learn who we are. This is how we learn what's happening inside of us. This is how we learn how we think. And this is how we learn, like, oh, I thought that was important to me, but if I'm unable to define it, maybe I need to look deeper inside myself. What is it I am looking for? What is it I'm looking for? So, in creating um, concepts in our life, changing the life landscape that we're currently in, then we create through um, our imagination within our high self. And we don't do it dragging all of the stuff with us. We do it with a clean slate, and we do it over and over and over again until that reality is more real to us than what is happening. And you'll find out if you really believe it or not. And you'll find out if you need to define it some more, or you'll be like, whoa, I need to expand my vision a little bit. So we learn about ourselves in the artist's studio, and because we're creating all of the time anyway. Our lives we are creating all of the time. So we're learning to use that divine creation energy that we're using already for our life. We're learning to use it with intention and introspection and power. Empower. So being able to be uh, being able to access a vision or a looking from a place of neutrality above what is currently happening allows us to do that. It allows us to grow and to see and to define, and then it allows us to create. And then as we go in every day and we spend our time revisiting our creation, living in our creation, living in the end result, we're not giving orders. This isn't a fast food restaurant, right? We're not. Here's what it is, and it's going to be this, and this. You know, no. We're going in. This is what it is I am looking for. This is what is the desire within me, and it. Then we open ourselves to hearing, to understanding, to clarity, and we open ourselves for new and different opportunities that are higher and better, or exactly what we wanted. So, uh, um, so here's an example. So this one gentleman that I've studied under quite a bit, and I love his work, Dr. Joe. His son is an engineer, and he engineered the fins on surfboards, right? And so at one point he needed his job had ended. He took 6 months off and surfed around the world, and then he was running out of money, and he needed to move forward, get a job, more money, etc. So his father told him to do this technique, right? And so he did. And so he didn't like run around all over the place. Like he faithfully did the work. And then he went into a surf shop one day in Santa Barbara and started chatting with a guy whose company makes the fins on surfboards. He got hired for the salary he wanted, and he could travel around the world and test out these surfboard fins. That was his desire, right? Was to have the same lifestyle but get paid. So it happens all the time. It happens all the time. But we have to get beyond our thinking mind. We have to get beyond the thinking mind that says, "Ugh, that's so lame, that's dumb, that's for them and not for me," or whatever it is our thinking brain says, because our thinking brain is the ego, and it's like, I only know what I have learned, experienced, and understand, so that doesn't make any sense to me. And that's not working hard enough. I need to work harder than that. Well, that's hard work if you've ever tried it. It's hard work to go in and do the work and to clear things out of the way that are preventing you from moving fully in the power that's within you. Because really, we're releasing the power that exists within us, and we're releasing it into our own life first, and then we release it into the lives of others. But we learn about it. We learn it's there. We learn to access it. We learn to trust in our divine relationship and our divine self. We learn an awful lot about ourselves. We ditch the baggage, right? And then we're moving in well-being and love and power in our lives. And that's the goal, is to come fully into our awareness of who and what we are. And the natural outpouring of that is going to move in other people's lives. It's going to bless other people as well as blessing us. As well as blessing us. It's the journey, not the destination. Like, oh, I made Audrey and she's, this is her goal, is just this thing over here. Hope she gets there, and if I wander around and get there, that's not, what a boring life. We can create every single day of our life. There is a million potentials for us. It's up to us to see them and choose them and to move in that direction. It's up to us, right? And along the way, we discover what is the true desire that's within us, that is yearning for manifestation. But we're not learning how to be manifestors to hoard into our life. We're learning the power that indwells each one of us. That's what we're here to learn. We're here to learn how to tap into the power that belongs in each one of us, so that each one of us can begin to use that divine power to move our lives and the lives of others in a great way. That's the goal. That's our life journey. Each one of us on our own individual life journey, with our own individual outcomes, our own individual yearnings and desires that will come to pass, right? And nothing, there are no limits. Nothing hinders. Um, Nothing's like, oh, um, oh, I didn't go to school. So what? I can have the same output in my life with or without going to school. Our high self and divine self is not limited by college, which is an institution that man made, if you think about it, right? So we are not limited, but we are taught to be limited. So we are learning that we are unlimited. And how do we access that? And how do we use our unlimited love and goodness to create lives that bless us and other people, and point other people into the direction of who and what they are? That's going to make a difference. Elevating ourselves to that level, living in the joy and the power, creative power that we were gifted. It's a talent we were given. We are creators. We're supposed to create goodness. When we do that, lives will be changed all around us as we do that, because our divine light will be really shining. And we will be in tune and vibrating with divine essence. So we focus on ourselves, on who and what we are, coming into the fullness of that. It's not an overnight deal, it's a life journey. It's a life journey. And we might have a big goal that we're living in, and along the way, we're going to work through some small ones, right? It's not a it's not a shopping list. It's a team sport. We are getting in there and discovering who and what we are, and getting a hold of how to use, how to tap into that creative power, and how to use it to affect our lives, which is in turn going to do great things for other people. So that I wanted to build on last week's lesson. And if you unmute, if you have any comments, excuse me. Yes.
Oh, it's always really good for me to be reminded that it's not a laundry list. It's not hard work. It is hard work sometimes, but it's not like a job that you do and then you get done and then you're there. It's a process. For me, I always try and remind myself all the time.
Right. And it's a muscle we're building. Right.
Yeah, and it's so easy to get hung up and stuck in the everyday things of life that are going on. And you start following an opinion and thought somewhere, and it can really change your whole emotions.
Yes.
And your whole feeling about things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So when I feel myself starting to get, fussy or anxious or irritated, I try and just remind myself that it really doesn't have anything to do with me personally, and try to bring myself back to that observational sort of space.
Right. And now, and in the observational space, you discovered a huge ball of Play-Doh. So now, now that now that you're out there in the neutral space, start playing with the Play-Doh. What would you create? What would it feel like? Why do you want it? Like, why do you want that? What is it we're looking for? A feeling, right? Well-being is a feeling. Love is a feeling. Satisfaction is a feeling. Doing a job
Yeah.
that we love, that uses our talents and uses our belief system, whatever it is about a certain thing, makes us feel satisfied and good and excited about love for life. So we're after love for life, right? So then we start going, yeah, this one gives me love for life. And then allowing things to come together for us.
So everything that you said today has definitely clarified what you said last week. Because last week I was left a little confused. Not in a bad way, but just in a like a wondering kind of a way. And this is really definitely it's really helped to clarify, what you're talking about, and how we are supposed to be doing our homework, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, now we're moving out of um, acquiring the knowledge and the experience of our divine self, because we've all felt the love, we've felt that experience. So now where do we go from here? Right? It's more than knowing who and what we are. It's now we create. from this space.
And feel it, right?
Yes, feelings, because you're having feelings all the time. They're either a fear, anxiety, joy, love, um, all kinds of stuff. And that's our prayer. That's our beacon. That's what's going out, and that's what's pulling back. That's really the shopping list. But initially it feels hard because we're learning to focus, right? We're learning to concentrate on what it is, defining what it is, and then going in and being in that end place. And it is work to move stuff out of the way, because in doing that we become aware of what's blocking that experience of coming into our lives. Oftentimes something small things are, like people always do, the parking spot, the whatever. Those small things are easy things, and they're encouraging things, right? But we getting into big things when it comes to health, abundance, what we're doing with our time, where we're living, what we're living in, things that we are big and mean bigger to us, then it's a little bit more work. You got to get in there and be there and create the momentum, and along in the process we learn about ourselves, and that is a mirror and a great opportunity to evolve and flex our muscle. so so I'm glad that
I like
cleared up. Yep.
I like the concept of checking in and checking my ego for what I don't understand and giving myself space to respond and be curious rather than, that response of I just don't want to be wrong.
Mhm. Everything that's done in love, that's who we are now. We are love beings, right? We're love beings. We've discovered that we are love beings, love children, love child. There's no wrong, black and white, wrong and right. There's what we know, and then what we don't know, right? And if we move in what we know, then as we go along the way, we'll get an expanded vision or a broader vision. Like, we're not orphans here. We're not left alone without any support from our high self. Our soul is tied in to source, to God. Our soul is tied in, and there's no judgment there. There's no story there. There's no shadow. There's no lies. There's no, this is not for you, it's for them. None of that exists. It's what, yay, that's what turns you on. That's your desire. Tell me about it. Let's talk about it till you're super clear on it. And then you will begin to live it internally, because we are becoming, right? We're beings. So we are being, right? We're human beings. We're being human. We're being. And when we're being in our desire, then it can begin to find us. So anybody else or anything else? Okay. So we're going to do a meditation, and you could do it, yelling, with your eyes open. No, we can meditate because you just think in your mind, right? Go in behind your brain um, and take it in. So, excuse me. So close your eyes. Close your eyes. Connect with a high emotion, love or gratitude, appreciation. Be in that place within yourself. See that emotion in you, feel it in you, and then see and feel it in the space around you. It's in you and it's all around you. Connect with it. Connect with it. From this place of love, gratitude, or appreciation, think of some small thing you would like, some experience or some item, small item, something that you would like that you can connect with. Something you can connect with now. And I want you to see that experience or that item in front of you. I want you to notice it in detail. Now, what would it feel like if you had this experience or if you had this item? What would it feel like inside? And see that experience and see that item and connect to it with those emotions. Become one with it through the emotions. If it is an experience you want, feel the experience. What does it feel like in that experience? Not observing the experience, not observing yourself in the experience, but living in the experience. You are the experience. And if it is an item, what does it feel like to possess that? Can you hold it in your hand? What does it feel like? And let go of any concept or any temptation of trying to figure it out. Just have the experience. Have the object. Connect to it through the emotion and let it go. Let it go. And connect with the emotion of gratitude. Feel gratitude for the magic that dwells within you. Gratitude for the creative power that you've been given. Gratitude for your perfect life. You're evolving. You're becoming. Gratitude for that opportunity. Feel gratitude. There's so much more than you know. So much more for you than you can see. And it's all good. Now connect back to this space and time. And open your eyes. We are all the prodigal child finding our way home. You realize that. Each and every one of us is finding our way back home to our high self, to our inheritance, right? And there's nothing but a party waiting for us. So Marianne, that used to come to this class, we did that meditation when I was still in the studio. And she texted me the next day, and her mom had died a couple of years before, and Marianne had given her diamond earrings, and they were missing. And they had searched high and low, and Marianne had looked everywhere. And so that was her object of desire, and they manifested for her. So it works. She really wanted those. It meant something to her, right? So you'll find out if you, by your inner conversation, if you actually connected and believe, or if you are still working on the understanding, and it's all good. It's all good. So practice, start playing with the Play-Doh. Be open for instruction from within. Have some fun. It's all fun.